Fairy Tales. 7. The Frog Prince. A long, long time ago, there was an old king. He has 3 daughters. The youngest princess is very beautiful, and has a great personality, so the king especially loves her. Behind the palace where the king and the princess lived, there was a dark and faraway forest. From deep in the forest, a small river would flow into the garden of the palace and converge into a pool in the corner of the garden. There was a huge old linden tree next to the pool, and in summer, it was particularly cool here, so the little princess often went to the shade of this tree to enjoy the shade. It was a particularly hot day, and the little princess came to play under the shade of the tree as usual, bringing her favorite little gold ball with her. The little princess liked to throw the shiny gold ball into the sky and then catch the falling gold ball steadily with her hands, which she found particularly interesting. But the little princess threw the ball few times, accidentally did not catch the ball. The fall of the gold ball so rolled into the pool of water inside. The little princess rushed to the side of the pond and tried to stretch out her 2 tiny hands to get it, but the pond was really too deep, and the shiny gold ball sank to the bottom at once, and even the shadow could not be seen. The little princess thought that she could not play with the golden ball anymore, and wailed with sadness. At that moment, a strange voice came from the side. "Beautiful princess, what happened? Why are you crying so sadly?" The little princess looked up and around, but found no one around, and she wondered where the voice was coming from. "Beautiful princess, I am at your feet." The little princess looked down and saw that the one who spoke to her was a big, fat, ugly frog. The little princess tried to calm down and said to the frog, "Because I accidentally let my golden ball fall into a puddle, and I couldn't get it up, so I cried with sadness." "That's how it is. You don't have to be so sad. I can help you get the golden ball from under the water." "But if I help you, how can you repay me?" The little princess hesitated for a moment and said, "I can give you my clothes, jewelry, even the gold crown on my head, anything you want." Hearing these words, the frog replied to the princess, "Beautiful princess, I don't want your clothes, your jewelry, or the golden crown on your head. I want to be your friend. We can eat together, talk, and sleep in the same bed with you. I hope you will like me." The little princess thought to herself, "How can a frog be friends with a person?" But she said out of the blue, "Of course it's no problem. As long as you can help me get the golden ball out, I can agree to all your requests." The frog got the promise of the princess and immediately jumped into the pool of water. After a period of time, the frog finally swam to the surface with the golden ball in his mouth. For the frog, the gold ball is a little too heavy. He swam hard to the edge of the water. The gold ball spit on the grass. At this time, the little princess saw her beloved toy lost and found, immediately happy to pick up the gold ball, but she turned around immediately and ran away quickly in the direction of the palace. The frog, still gasping for breath, was too late to keep up and shouted after the little princess, "Dear princess, I can't run that fast. Can you please take me with you?" But despite the frog's loud cries, the little princess turned a deaf ear, as if she heard nothing, so she ran back inside the palace. Until the evening of that day, the little princess and the king sat at the table, ready to enjoy dinner. From the palace door came a loud cry, "Dear princess! I have finally arrived at the palace. Please open the door for me. I am your friend." The little princess immediately heard the voice of the frog, but she did not expect that the frog would come to the palace to find her, and felt a little embarrassed for a while. The king saw that the princess looked a bit strange, so he asked, "My child, what happened? Is that your friend outside the door?" The little princess was flustered, but she honestly explained to the king what had happened. The king thought for a moment and said to the princess, "Since you made a promise, you should not fail to keep your word," he said, and the king ordered the guards of the palace to open the gate and bring the frog to the table. The frog arrived at the table, first politely thanked the king and all the people at the table, and then said to the little princess, "Dear princess, thank you for the invitation. Please push your little gold plate over a little, we can eat together." The little princess was reluctant, but still pushed her gold plate over. The frog ate the dinner with great pleasure, but the princess later lost her appetite. When the frog had eaten his fill, he also politely thanked the king and all the people at the table, and then said to the little princess, "Dear princess, I have eaten my fill. Please carry me to your bedroom, we can talk together." The little princess was very reluctant. She looked at the king. The king looked at the princess and said seriously, "Anyone who helps us in our time of trouble, no matter who he is, should be given the respect he deserves." The little princess had to carry the frog back to her room in silence. The frog kept talking happily in the princess' bedroom, but the princess didn't listen to a word and didn't say anything back. Finally, the frog said tired. He yawned and said, "Dear princess, I already want to sleep. Please carry me to your bed, we can sleep in the same bed." The little princess trembled at the thought of sleeping with a cold frog in her neat and beautiful crib. She felt scared and couldn't help but cry. The frog was a bit stunned at this point, but he still spoke gently and said, "Dear princess, I hope you can like me and give me a kiss." Hearing these words, the little princess was so angry that she wanted to throw the frog against the wall. But as she held the frog up, she struggled for a long time. She sighed, gave the frog a quick kiss, and said, "Good night." Then she gently put the frog to bed. In this instant, a flash of light in the room, the frog's figure after a blur, but turned into a handsome young prince. The prince smiled slightly and slowly opened his mouth to tell the frozen princess his story. He was a prince from the next country, and while hunting in the forest between the two countries, he accidentally touched a certain curse and was turned into an ugly frog, and needed the sincere treatment of a girl to recover. The prince and the little princess then spent the night talking about many things. The two have a lot of common topics, but also gradually attracted to each other. The next day, the little princess and the prince explained to the king what happened. The prince expressed his gratitude to the little princess and the king, and asked the king to marry the little princess. The king agreed and helped the prince to inform the neighboring country of the good news. The next day, the neighboring country sent the prince's servants, and the prince took his princess to his carriage and returned to his kingdom. Then the two of them lived a happy life.